As far as maintenance is concerned, Lufthansa has already put out a statement. It, of course, owned Germanwings, which operated this flight, that its maintenance record is impeccable, and that once a plane is inspected, as this one had been apparently yesterday in Dusseldorf, there is absolutely nothing that could be wrong with the plane. What do you think about that statement?
Well, I think that from their point of view, that's a reasonable thing to say. Obviously, if the maintenance has been very good, and when they go over it and they do the maintenance, they check everything and they don't find anything that's awry, that doesn't mean that something can't go bad, in the X number of hours that the plane flew down to Spain and then back. So the investigators obviously will be looking first at the recorders, obviously, and those are the most valuable thing that you can find in an investigation. And they may, if something went wrong with a plane, the flight data recorder will probably indicate or give you an idea of where you should be looking more intensely.
What could cause such a quick descent from 38,000 feet to 5,000 or 6,000 feet in 8 minutes? Could that be an engine failure? Could it be colliding with geese? I mean, what do you think could cause that kind of descent? It's very hard to speculate. If something had gone wrong with the system, the air management system in the aircraft, and you had a risk of not having enough oxygen in the air at the cruise altitude, that's the first thing I would think of, first reason to go into a serious and quick descent. But again, it'll remain to be seen, and who knows? I mean, it's in the cockpit. One of the pilots having a health problem. Right. It's just, the number of speculative things you could come to is almost indefinite.
The images that you're seeing right now are a rescue team by the crash site. Robert, there's been a lot of emphasis recently on cutting costs at airlines, and there seemed to be a lot of crash recently from the Malaysia crash to the Singapore crash. Do you think that standards are loosening and that it's becoming less safe to fly planes?
No.
All right,
do we just hear about these incidents more, and do they hit home more because they're so rare these days?
Well, I think obviously when there is an accident, and there are thousands and thousands of operations every day, when there's an accident, it's obviously very visible, it's very newsworthy, and it warrants the best investigative process that can take place. And certainly the Germans and the French are capable of providing accident investigation that is as good as anyone's.
Well, can I ask if they're capable of providing safety as good as anyone's when they're running an airline on a low-cost budget? I mean, I wonder what you think of this. Obviously, budget airlines have popped up and become incredibly popular. Now they're all over the place, but I'm sure they can't skimp on something like maintenance or safety or pilot's experience. Although I'm sure they do in the latter.
You've got to be careful. These are budget airlines in terms of what they charge the passengers. That does not at all equate to being budget in terms of their maintenance or the equipment and operations that they have.
I wonder about the experience of their pilots, though. I mean, how important is that? You hear more and more from, maybe this is just propaganda from pilots' unions that are trying to negotiate better positions, that these airlines are hiring less experienced pilots because they can pay them less money.
I have not seen any evidence of that, and the pilots' unions are whining all the time about something, but this apparently the pilot, the captain, had 6,000 or 8,000 hours or whatever it was. I mean, he was not a rookie, and the German standard for safety is as good as anyone's.
Yep. All right. Well, I just wanted it's great to have you here to separate the fact from the fiction. Robert Francis, former NTSB vice chairman, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate this.